Hey guys, welcome back to another Let's Play. And today we're gonna continue on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we started chapter 1 and we had to kind of solve and defend ourselves in our own murder trial. So, and then we left off, say, part 2 of the trial here, where they found out the identity of the woman who was at the lunch at the time. And they took a quick recess. They're gonna go get her, etc. Excellent work, Ryosuke. That was superb. Ah, my heart was in my mouth the entire time. Alright, calm down. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, we started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I mean, it is a lawyer game, dude. Come on. Why is it bandana and the sword? Anyway. Your phantom lady. Listen, man, we're not out of duels yet. You know, I was wondering that about that myself, actually. They work the same place. That's why I suspect this guy from the beginning. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. Let's not forget who we're going up against. Huh? I thought she introduced herself. Uh-oh. It's time, guys. Here we go. What for? If you guys said you'd leave me then. I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. I mean, you're pretty messed up if you thought your best friend was a killer. He's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad? That's the kind of true friend he is. I thought recess was over. Dum dum dum. Court hereby resume the trial. Professor, sure we managed to subpoena the defendant. Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds, thanks to certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Well, let's get to it. secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, bungled investigations, missing witnesses. Is that how our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I love these facial expressions with the eyes. Like just like wandering around. Exactly. Let's get to it. Damn. That's an outfit. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentleman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea, someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name's Satoru Hosoda. I don't think they were talking about them. Yes. We know all about you already. Where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers and reservations are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did. Yet your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. She was sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Oh. What the? Because supposedly she's talking English. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? Medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the delicate tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell. The detective's translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. Will obviously be fine in England because her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in English classes. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Britt. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? Oh God, this is gonna make things a lot longer. She says yes. But this could take some time. Yeah, exactly. I like how they even know this. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. Well, you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, what's he doing in her chair facing the food? Could be so the guy caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening, sorrowful sight you described. Here we go. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. First, I was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes.
I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quit, you filthy wretch. Look at you, black-hearted blackguard, and look at those snow-white angels. Oh, God. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. You're still making the same mistakes. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying, of course. I was at the scene as well. I took statement from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. I would think she could have got almost anywhere in the outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have a hidden weapon can be shown, this is a mount. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness' own words on the matter. It's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Well, okay. Don't think about doing anything rash. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that. Which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we'll need to pull her testimony apart. First, may cross-examine the witness. Yeah, you know, you're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Is Miss Britt aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean it was you who ate the steak in the picture. Is that right, Miss Britt? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant land on one far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible flight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor wasn't able to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. Each drinks a glass of carbonated water. What with this last statement? That last statement of yours has a profound bearing on this case. Well, 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 how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing? Significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness' last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Britt. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to the official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, because I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. Could really use that phrase. Hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes!
Just a short while ago, you spoke of the print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is, it's odd, very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. So Yusuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Britt just told us that she and the professors said cheers over a glass of water. Well, if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah. You're quite right, counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over Chronicles? I misread it. What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make in this case? Minute, that's the word. You say? Could it be that the detective had removed the glass from the table to cancel this lady's presence? Of course not. I'll never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can click with that one? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would It seemed that Miss Bread who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there. That's all. Good gracious. So she can't hide stuff. Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, there's of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student has just murdered this lady's Lynchian companion before her eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So, do we take it that you're now going to accuse this vulnerable young beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass for the seed. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small, handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the seal. Now, however, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. The student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she moved the glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's deeper significance. There is. I'm gonna say it's gotta be the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Britt stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire the gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Spectre? Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Jezeel Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No. I'm getting a little into it. Order. What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Apucci? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag to show you the contents of the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? This guy gonna be okay? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. What? Yeah, that way. Really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. Talk about competence, please. this photographic print. This print is a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after shooting. As it clearly shows, Miss Britt's handbag. I never. You can see right through what's inside. That's right. Apparently, short bags like those are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. There was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to apply Miss Britt's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that. If he's now exposed as a detective, why is he still pretending to be a waiter? Order, Inspector Hosonoga. You will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence, as the photographic print just submitted to the court record appears to have no further significance. I am satisfied there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, there's only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us and the only possible perpetrator. No, just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Oh, Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What, you mean, this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weak are meat while the strong eat. You were wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that can be a contest, which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I'll now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we were able to report to the British government in no time after all. That smug little... Having considered all of the evidence placed before me, yes! I hereby find you. Wait, Your Excellency. I don't think you can rule on this case yet. This amateurness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial's over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. This photographic image of someone appeared to have no further significance. There's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, then ruling on the case at this time will be out of the question. That is blatant straw clutching. Look at the photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. But I know what you're doing. I understand your objection. Certainly the evidence submitted by detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how you can glean any new information from this handbag. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wickedness. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about the photograph just doesn't seem right if I don't put my finger on it. Very well, I'll grant defense the final opportunity. Be warned, if I'm unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print, Inspector. You will identify for the court where in this print you can see a significant detail which you have alluded. It's gotta be this thing. Right? But yeah, it's gotta be it.
Yes.
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark at the victim's wrist. That is true. Looks almost like a burn of some description.
Attention!
Dear me, I was wondering what new piffle you would come up with a bird you say on the victim's wrist. Clearly has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Magnificent. Yes, that is a birthmark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea what the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possibility of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. It looks like a bull. So unless a front connection case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise detail of this burn. Excuse me, Eric, since it would seem as Britt has a lunch appointment with the dean and other university staff. So she'd like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shouldn't hold you up any longer. Quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? Yes, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am. If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to praise this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then would you allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color drain from Miss Britt's face. Really? I have to find some link between the burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. Time to find proofs of reading hands. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. Inextricable connection between the photographs. I think it's this one. This is not there. Ah, there's the mark. See, the bull.
Yes.
Aha. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. When we photograph things we may have overlooked at times, recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvince this poor lady any further, it really would be quite inexcusable. You see, it's very clearly visible on this other photograph.
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's murder? It's obvious.
Yes!
The beefsteak? Actually, the point of the middle plate the steak was served on. As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. You genius. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, the day before that. It most likely happened the other time. Unrelated.
Objection!
Unrelated. Chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite the commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster. But I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, and that it was suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, and the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain there. I have been investigating the restaurant for several weeks already. I've heard no one scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. The inspector have never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, the professor had carelessly laid his rest on the plate for anything with 3 seconds that day. That would be beyond careless, I think, counsel. And the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, the old antique stealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, prosecutor? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear it? It's pretty obvious, guys. Come on. I almost don't believe it. Do you think? Can it really be true? I never dreamt to arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation that can make sense. As on the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man can remain silent while his wrist was burning up for 3 seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness. Order, please. Counsel, explain the absurd notion of this. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly has no grasp of the facts. It's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down, or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it is true, we now believe that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Britain knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Britt, you will have to forget your lunch engagement. But Your Excellency, the justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, no reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'll be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Here we go. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all. But then, why haven't you been speaking through the spectre until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking your vulgar tones as much as possible. Wow. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you on your own level. Oh, well. You are the epitome of a true English gentleman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my stick, the professor and I raised our glasses on a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshots. If there is some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigation techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. That's not much of a statement. The most captivating, beautiful testimony will go down as a Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. That was the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't assaulted anyone. Not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony, this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? What, is that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irration, Miss Brett, and put up a cross-examination now. irritation, I think he said irritation. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Okay then. Yes, Your Excellency. And you may proceed with the cross-examination. Let's do this.
Yes!
Press on it. Yeah, there we go. Phew, what do you mean by that? Lands of Great British Empire. The police store everything they found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. My carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to your native detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I am trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand. A killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps prosecutors finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. So there's something what you just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think? No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. He's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. What? What? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering me? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Osunoga. The detective, yes. He seemed to react a little strangely to his last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant if I might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on the last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what you can get out of the detective. Alright then, I will do it because I was thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press her on the last statement again. Okay. I'm gonna target him.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? And the lands... Wait, did we really do this? Quite right. I'm so confused. Oh. Yes, there it is again. Detective's reaction is the same as before. Why? Things are very different now. For this testimony, detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you find they often let their guard down. You're right, look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry, pursue. I'll explain how to do that now, Ryusu. It's all to do with the witness marker. The marker. At the moment, we're focused on this man. Who's the person actually making the current statement? But by moving the marker left and right, you can turn your attention to other people to stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with it. If you catch the person just the right time, you might uncover some information. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people of the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across. Focus on the detective, then pursue him with A. Here we go.
Wait.
I'm confused now. It's not moving.
Excuse me.
There we go. What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. Here he was lost in his thoughts deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, this is not how this works. Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector? Yes? You have something to add? In relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett. Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see? I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Oh boy. Crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this for example. This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming again to it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottles of water as evidence. Miss Brett, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes while she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel. You may resume the cross-examination. The inspector will kindly control his fervor. So it's poison. So I gotta examine this thing. The label's written in foreign language. What it says, because I think it's French. It must be very expensive water, but it doesn't say. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. That's funny. Oh. So this carbonated water is the last drink source I ever drank. Looks like there's still a little left in the bottle, and those just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, right. Inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me. In more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might just have worked something out. An interesting possibility. I think that's it. Okay, now what to do there? I think it's this one.
Yes!
Oh, okay, thank God. What is this, the bottle of water? Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Or to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison. On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from the bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from the glass? And that's why she hit the glass, y'all. Order, order, order. On that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison to his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Jezeel Brett, it was you.
Objection!
This is outrageous. There's just such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? We forgot that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire. Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusation could jeopardize the entire treaty? This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Ahem, if I may. I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack. Holy crap. It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady, where'd that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigate this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did. Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested inside the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I already test for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in a bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. Well, then she put it in his glass. Tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. I am very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this hard affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure is all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest for this guy is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. Done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience that has caused you, Miss Britt. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point? I'm sorry. I have nothing more. Well, if you excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Hmm? Please, wait. What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susatu Mikotoba, judicial assistant to defense. Mikotoba. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. In her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Guys, it's the glass. Oh. Well, there you have it, guys. We're going to wrap it up here. Hope you all enjoyed that continuation of the trial. I don't know if we'll continue on after this, but we'll see. Maybe you guys let me know in the comments if you want to see how this trial ends. We'll continue on based on your response. But if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to share, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye.